I actually had a professor back when I was first getting into this stuff at Cal, and he made this amazing comment, which was that the term AI conceals more than it reveals. It's a terrible term to use because what we're talking about is as this sort of sentient or like alive or, you know, extremely powerful thing with just these two letters is really, you know, a combination of a bunch of different technological capabilities, you know, optimization models. If you're talking about like large language models, you know, they need APIs to actually get connected with the rest of the world. They're deployed in many different contexts, which require like bigger technological systems. They all run on hardware, compute, right? Which is where I started my career working on this stuff at Intel. All of these AI systems, which I think is a better frame of reference to use or term to use, are made up of different technologies, and they're also deployed in different contexts. And so I think that gets lost also for these both policy and, you know, PR problem discussions, as you mentioned, because people actually don't know what we're talking about.
No, Mark Zuckerberg doesn't know. He
100%.
Recently said, someone asked him to define it, and he said he really couldn't.
Right. Well, it's very telling when the, you know, powerful developers of these systems themselves cannot actually explain what a thing is. Right.
But you just did a good job, which is you narrowed it down. So I think many people, when they hear artificial intelligence, they think robots. Like I just said something mechanical. In my head, I'm like, well, it's pattern recognition, and then they've adjusted it, and it's a sensor. But you're right, that's mechanical. What you've just described is really software. Big data sets that are going to create the next step on their own. Like they're going to come up with the next step on their own. And this is software that's going to enable a lot of things through a system.
Right. And I actually think that the distinction between like artificial intelligence can be used in robotic and mechanical systems, but I think that it's really important to distinguish between AI software and robotics, which in a lot of fields are actually thought of as two, especially in a lot of academic fields, are sort of thought of as two separate things. And I think that when people think about AI, obviously because of all of this anthropomorphization and, you know, the way that the media has sort of talked about AI, they immediately think about a robot. Right. But really, it's a much more sort of subtle and not subtle in its power, but just it's much more intangible, sort of how AI works.
And this goes back to the point you were just making, which is you're going to start to see, so we talked about using AI to make us actually safer. The other thing is making us more efficient, which people think of efficiency, it feels really abstract. But in our jobs, if you're using AI systems to make things work better, that might be a tangible way that people can grab onto the positives.